All right. Thank you everyone for joining us for the Middle School CTE Engagement Symposium. I'm Jewel Alderson Clark. I'm the Integrated Curriculum Coordinator at San Diego County Office of Education. And today we are going to be talking about middle school pathways, marketing, and outreach. Eileen, if you want to change the slide.
No, it's not changing.
There it goes. And so those of you who are just joining us, you'll find the link in the chat so that you can access any of the resources or concepts along the way. And then next slide, please. So today we have two different districts who are going to share about their middle school outreach and marketing. Grossmont Union High School District, we have Eileen Bagg-Rizzo and Jamie Davenport, and they are a high school district. And so they are working with a number of middle schools. We also have San Diego Unified School District. Sarah Vielma is here with us, as well as one of our counselors, Andriana, who may be chiming in along the way.
And also our K-12 pathway coordinator, Rob Corona.
Oh, fantastic. Rob's on the call too. So it's great. Along the way, feel free to chime in with questions. I know at least Jamie has to hop off the call a little bit early. They're going to talk for the first 20 minutes or so, but feel free to add questions along the way. We'll kind of take them after each one and at the end today. So without further ado, I'm going to pass the torch on to Eileen and Jamie to talk about middle school marketing and outreach at Grossmont Union High School District.
Hello, everyone. I'm Eileen Bagg-Rizzo. I am the Director of College and Career Readiness, and I'm here with Jamie Davenport, who is our K-12 SWP Pathway Coordinator. And as Jill said, we're in the Grossmont District, and we're a high school only district. So that presents some challenges when we're working with our middle schools and aligning our pathways and communicating, because we have several different districts that feed into the Grossmont Union High School District. So today we're just going to share with you some of the strategies that we've used. I'm sure you have really good ideas as well, but this is kind of what we've been doing. First, we're going to talk about district outreach, then school outreach and promotional materials, and a K-12 pathway coordinator is going to share all the things that she gets to do. So for our district outreach, we have several different ways that we try to promote communication with all the different districts that feed into us. So we have our program of study document. And we have a yearly CTE fair where we invite incoming ninth graders to come see what programs that we have and kind of educate them about the pathways that we offer. This year we changed the format to a virtual fair, as I'm sure everybody else had to do. And we spent some time this year also doing some videos of our facilities. So we could post that on our website and share what our facilities look like without having people come into the facilities. We have a website. We've hosted parent engagement events to educate parents about what we have to offer. And we also have a student ambassador program, which I'll go into a little bit more detail. So this is our program of study document. And as part of our Perkins plan, we review this every year, and we have a rubric where our teachers do a self-evaluation on how we're meeting the Perkins requirements for CTE pathways. And we've expanded it from grades 9 through 12 to 9 through 14, because we're showing the students how the pathways that they take in high school align to the pathways that they have in community colleges. And we've also added other information to help families make a decision about pathways that they may want to enter. So this first part that you see here, 9 through 12, this is what their schedule would look like each year if they're part of a pathway. And it shows them that they can still be A through G completers. They can, they have different concentrated course listed, the capstone course listed, the A through G requirements, any articulated courses. So everything is listed on here in one place. And the counselors use this when they're working with students and parents to help kind of plan their 4 years. And then from there down here, it goes into years 13 and 14. It shows what courses that they would take at the community college. And on this side, we show what occupations and what degrees students would need if they go and pursue the pathways that we have listed here. And we also list if there's an articulation agreement in place, if there's any kind of industry certification that's aligned with that course and that kind of thing. And over here, we have our work-based learning plan, so students can see some of the activities that the teachers do each year with them. And this is updated annually, depending on the teacher's plan. And then right here, we have the labor market information, so they could see how viable is this as a pathway to a career for them. So we try to keep everything on this one document so that if they have questions, they have something to refer to. And so this is one of our major planning documents. We also have these posted on our website, and we have one for every pathway. So parents can take a look at that. In order to educate the public about the pathways that we have in the Grossmont district, in 2020, in January 2020, so this was before COVID, we had a CT fair at Parkway Plaza. And Parkway Plaza was really generous. They let us have this for free. It was right in the middle of the mall, so we got a lot of mall traffic, which was interesting because we had never tried it in a mall before. And these are just some pictures of the setup that we had. So our CT teachers were there at their tables. They had hands-on things for kids to explore and kind of attract people to the tables. We had students there and our ambassadors were there to answer questions. We also had translation services. So we had people there that could help with communication as well. And our engineering classes brought their little robots. So we had a lot of people that came by just to play with the robots. So it was really fun. Another way that we tried to attract people to the event is we invited people from our BAPA programs in our district. So we had student performances too. So that drew a lot of people in. So it was a really fun day. And then COVID hit. So then this year we had to pivot just as everybody else did. And we did a virtual fair. And this is the setup that we had for that. So we have our list of all of our schools, all the pathways. We had live assistants during the event. We had information from our community college partners. We had information about early college credit that we have to offer. And the teachers were in breakout rooms and the participants could go to those rooms and ask questions and find out more about the pathways. So this was really successful. Nice thing about having it in this format is once the event was over, we didn't have the live assistants anymore, but we were able to post this on our website and people could still refer to the information that we had about each of the pathways on here. So we will update that again. As part of this, as I was mentioning before, we did some videos of our facilities so that they could see what kind of facilities. We spent a lot of money in bond measures and grants and stuff to update our facilities and really proud of them. So we have some videos. I have one that I can share with you. This is what the page looked like for the virtual fair for transportation. We had the logos of the different schools that offer this pathway. These are some flyers that Jamie created about information, labor market information, and we have them translated into Arabic and Spanish. And then down here, we have the videos. So it's kind of fun. You can kind of just take a look at the facilities that we have in transportation. You just kind of drag it around and it's a 360. And so it gives them an idea of the workspace that we have for the students and what it looks like and how it looks like the industry and the way it's all set up. So the teachers spent a lot of time putting these together and we're really happy with them. Let's see. The next thing that we did to get information out about labor market and pathways and the community college pathways is we did a seminar in October and we had an industry panel. So this is who was on the industry panel. And this worked out really well. And we had 175 participants at this. So we're really happy with that. And they also got to hear about labor market information and all sorts of stuff related to our pathways. And the community colleges were there also in answering questions for parents. So that was a really fun evening. Very important part of our programs, we have our CT ambassadors, and ambassadors are pathway students from each of our pathways, and they have to apply to be an ambassador, and we pick them from across the whole district. And it's exactly what it sounds like. They are ambassadors about CTE. So they work with students at sites, and they also go out to our middle schools. And when we were allowed to go out, this was pre-COVID, and they would share information and answer questions with the students. And they also participate in functions, East County Chamber of Commerce. They worked at the Manufacturing Day Expo in El Cajon and answer questions and kind of do whatever is necessary when we're doing that event. And they also work with our business partners, especially at our advisories. They attend our advisory meetings and give the student perspective. And we take them up to Sacramento every year. This year, unfortunately, we weren't able to go to Sacramento, but they meet with our legislators and they advocate for CT education and try to get more funding. And it's always well received from the legislators when they get to speak with the students. So we have that as an ongoing program. So that's kind of what the central office does in our district and what we support. but there's also a lot that's going on at the sites. So this, I'm just going to share some of the things that we have going on that the sites are responsible. We at the district office support them in helping set this up, but they run it at the site. So this summer, we are trying, since we have an expanded summer school, we're trying to include more CTE offerings. So we're doing what we're calling the summer wheel class. And this is for our incoming 9th grade, just to educate them on the pathways that are available at their high school that they're going to be going to. And it's a 3-week session, and we have 3 different cohorts of about 20 students. And so 1 week, for example, they'll do intro to ag. The next week they'll do computer science, and then the next week they'll do building and construction trades. And then the cohorts end up all going through those 3 pathways. So Monday through Thursday, they do content focused, just kind of getting them exposed to what the pathways are. And at El Capitan, they're planning a group project-based learning. So they do one portion at each week. And so at the end of the 3 weeks, they have something to take home with them that they made during the summer wheel. So kind of excited about that. On Friday, they're working with our work-based learning specialists and our curriculum specialists to bring in guest speakers, career exploration in all aspects of the industry. And excuse me, we're also trying to do a field trip if we're allowed to take them anywhere. The ag teachers want to take them to Hillikers so that they can see the egg farm and see how that's all run in the industry behind that. So we're trying to get that set up if we're allowed to take them anywhere. So that's tentative. The sites also do a lot with our showcases. So a lot of our CTE pathways at the end of the year do showcase events where they have parents and family come in and display what they've been working on all year. We also invite the incoming 9th graders and middle school students to their showcases so they can get an idea of what's going on at the schools. Every school in our district, and I'm sure at yours as well, have a freshman night where they introduce incoming 9th to all the different programs at the high school. So CTE is always a strong present at the freshman nights. We also host family nights. Depending on the school, they have different ones for different targeted audiences. We have Pathways students in our programs go out to the middle schools and do projects with students. The engineering students at Mount McGill go to the middle schools in their area and do projects with them and get them interested in engineering. And we also bring students, incoming 9th graders, onto our campuses so they can see the facilities in person. Obviously, we weren't able to do that this year, so that's why we're relying on those videos. But in the past and in the future, we will be bringing them on campus. And we have a CTE lead at each site who is our point of contact. And we have contact lists for the middle schools in our area. So we have some better communication between all the districts. We've done a lot with promotional materials, and these are examples of our banners. They're the roll-up kind that are really tall, and they just roll up into a nice little case. And we actually went through San Diego County Office of Education to get these made. So this is some of what we did with some of our grant money to promote our programs. So we designed one for each of our pathways, and the colors represent the colors that these industry sectors are identified by the state identified industry sectors. And we also use these at our advisories to let the advisors know which rooms like they go to for which pathways that are really good for identifying that. We tried to make the language on this very user-friendly because a lot of times we use education, like a lot of people may not know what AME stands for. So we make sure that we have everything spelled out. We have which high schools offer the programs that are listed. And we have different careers that students could get into if they go into this pathway. And we also have this 5 things to know. Jamie created this document. So when we're meeting with the public and talking to people, or students contact us and have questions, counselors contact us and have questions, this is 5 things to know about a CTE program. Just really short little snippet of what is kind of like an elevator speech on paper. Just give them a quick overview of what CTE is. And Jamie did a really nice job and created these flyers for each of our pathways. Again, this is just to show students what they could do by going into this pathway, what careers are available, and which high schools have these programs. In the Grossmont district, students can, we call it a choice window, pick which schools they want to go to. So we're really trying to inform them about pathways at the different schools so that they can pick one that meets their needs. We have those. These are just different examples for the different pathways that we have. It's our arts, media, entertainment one. So each one is specific for the pathway. And for all of them, we had them translated into Arabic and Spanish. So here is our health pathway. The X-ray helps me know which pathway it is because it's in Arabic. So we have one in Arabic, and then we have the same, this is our Spanish. So we worked with our translation services and they did all these for us. So we're happy to have them in the different languages. So in the future, we're always trying to work on middle school engagement and working with our partners. We've been involved in a grant with Home Valley and the World of Work. So we've gotten to know them better, and they've worked with our teachers on incorporating the World of Work into our curriculum. And we would like to extend more facility tours to the middle school teachers and administrators so they're aware of what our programs are, so that when they're meeting with students and families, they can kind of explain what's going on in the high school a little bit more. And we're fortunate enough to host the K-12 Pathway Coordinator. So we meet often, almost every day, and we're working on different ways that we can work on aligning our pathways with the middle school pathways and opening up the communication even more. And in the future, we'd also like to offer more summer academies. We're going to see how the CTE will goes this summer and maybe expand on that more in the future. So those are just kind of some of the ways that we just try to communicate with our middle school partners. And I'm going to turn it over to Jamie.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Jamie Davenport. I'm the K-12 Strong Workforce Program Pathway Coordinator for the Grossmont-Cuyamaca region, Community College District region. We also, there are 5 of us throughout the county. So maybe you want to take note of who your pathway coordinator in your particular region. If you haven't heard from them already, I'm sure they would be happy to communicate with you. We also, Eileen, you can go to the next slide, have Rob Corona here with us too. He's the pathway coordinator for San Diego City Community College District. He works with all the city schools. And so our positions are funded through the K-12 Strong Workforce Pathway, or excuse me, Strong Workforce Program. So we're grant funded, and our main function, our main responsibility is to sort of liaise between various, between our site, between all of the LEAs in our region, helping to put them in contact with resources, helping them with their grants, helping them maybe form connections with business and industry partners, putting them in touch with people at the community college, trying to facilitate, really what we're trying to do is to develop stronger and better and more CTE pathways throughout the region. So go ahead and go on to the next slide. So one of our main objectives right now is we are gearing up for round 4 of the K-12 Strong Workforce Program grant, which right now we don't know for sure, but we're anticipating that the RFA will be coming out in probably September. So the K-12s, and I believe Rob was the one who worked on this mainly, developed this awesome flyer just to try to utilize to reach out to middle schools, because we're trying to build, it's K-12. So we're trying to reach down to our middle schools to form those connections up through the high school and then all the way up through the community colleges. So middle schools can apply for grant funding through the Strong Workforce Program. And that's what we're here to do. So I've been, as my part, sending out emails to my middle schools, the middle schools in my service area. I've not gotten a lot of response, unfortunately. I'm hoping that maybe when some of them are here today, they see my face, and I'm hoping to attend. We have a East County Educational Network, which is kind of, GUHSD hosts it, and all of our middle schools in the region send a representative, and we kind of and they meet together. So I'm hoping to attend the next meeting of that and introduce myself, and just trying to reach down and make sure everyone knows that they can apply for this funding to help them develop and strengthen middle school pathways and align those pathways with their high school pathways, with the regional high school pathways. So I don't know, I may pause for a minute if Rob's on the line, if he wanted to, I don't know if he wants to say anything, but if he is in here, if he wants to, he is free to jump in. But here's a link to that flyer, and I guess Eileen can go on to the next slide. Yeah, so part of our job is to help with Strong Workforce program and CTIG funding. Again, so we're conducting a series of office hours. If you're a middle school out there and you're thinking about applying to any of to either CTIG or for K-12, we're hosting these office hours that you're free to. It's just a Zoom link, so you can pop on and ask questions, maybe connect with the pathway coordinator in your region. We're kind of in here in different shifts, but Leslie Wisdom, who is our K-14 technical assistance provider for San Diego, she's in there for every single one, and she's really, she knows her stuff, and so she's there to, she always is a great resource. So she's in there too to answer questions and help you out if you're interested in applying for any of this grant funding. So again, just our main functions as a K-12, these are the things that we can help you with. We can assist you in providing some information, like hooking you up as a middle school with the high schools in your area and providing you with information on what pathways exist at the high school level, so you can start maybe developing or aligning pathways with those programs. We can assist in developing and implementing career exploration and awareness programs if you're interested in, seeking out some sort of, tools such as Zello or World of Work or things like that. We can help you, help you do that. And also the K-12 funding can help you pay for that. And then we can help you make connections with community colleges, with business and industry partners who can assist in providing work-based learning opportunities for your students that are in your pathways. And that is the end of Eileen and I's portion, and we're happy to answer any questions that you might have.
And I think Jamie answered a few of the questions in the chat. And so you might keep an eye on there, but I think the first question was around students scheduling before they get into the wheel. So how do you schedule students after, if they have the wheel right before school starts, how does that impact scheduling for their classes?
So the wheel class is for the summer, so it's for incoming ninth. So we reached out to our Kalmar I-9er incoming ninth grade students and advertised it that way. So they're signing up before they even enter. So we have a code that we are doing for that. So they're entering as freshmen basically in the summer wheel. Most of our pathways don't start until sophomore or junior year. So once they get in, they are familiar with the pathways, they get to know their counselor, and the counselor will help program them into the pathways after that point.
Perfect. I'm curious, this wasn't a question here, but one that I came up with. Are you using your ELO or AB 89 funds to help with the costs of these summer programming? And
Yes.
Any advice for people who are interested in doing the same?
Our district kind of set out a big pot of money for the summer school. And so each school was given a sum of money where they could use them how they want. So that's how we're doing that. We're still planning things out. So we might be using some of our CTE money to help with supply budget. We have culinary that's going to be offered at one site as part of the wheel. So they're going to need to buy some food and stuff to get ready for that. So we're helping them out in that way. But the funding for the teachers is coming from our extra money that came into the district.
Excellent. All right. Well, it doesn't look like any other questions. Either anything else that either of you wanted to add before we move on to Sarah's team?
I just want to add too, I'm sorry, Eileen, I didn't mean to cut you
Go
off.
ahead.
I just realized that also we have another one of the K-12s in here, Nicole Moore. She's for the coastal North County region. So if you're a school in that region, that she's your K-12. And then again, Rob Corona, who is the K-12 for the basically for San Diego Unified and all of the schools in that district. So reach out to them if if you're one of those schools in the area. And if you have the slides, their email addresses are in the slides. So that's all. Sorry, Eileen.
No, I was just going to say there's our contact information. So if you have any questions for us, please feel free to reach out. And I think earlier, Rob, you unmuted and then you muted. I don't know if you had anything that you wanted to share.
I thought Jamie did a great job, and thank you for the introduction. And I was just going to mention Nicole was on the call too. But
Okay.
if you're middle school, They really are encouraging us to work with the high school. And for some of our smaller schools, a consortium is a way to go when you're looking at match funds and things like that. So the open office hours that Jamie mentioned are there for anyone and to answer your questions. And if we don't know the answer, we definitely will get you to the right resource or the right source of information. So that was the only thing I was going to mention during that share. Thank you, Eileen.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing and let Sarah take over.
Perfect.
Okay.
And while she jumps in, just another note, if you're coming from outside of San Diego County today, there are pathway coordinators for every community college for every community college district in the state of California. And so you can reach out to your regional consortium and your community college folks, and they should be able to identify the person that you should reach out to. So
Yes.
now we have Sarah from San Diego Unified to share about some of the great programs they have to work with their middle schools. Sarah?
Yes, hi, thank you, Jewel. Thanks, Eileen and Jamie, too. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm happy to share a little bit about what we are doing in San Diego Unified regarding marketing and outreach. I'm gonna, oops, let me click that button. So just to give you a kind of an overview of what this presentation will cover, I'm gonna start out by talking a little bit about the guiding principles and our information that helps guide our strategy and goals as we think about what is it that we want to market to our students. So I want to share just a little bit about what forms that foundation for those of you that are building your program. And that will come from the K-12 Strong Workforce, our CTE incentive grant, Perkins, the 12 elements of high quality college and career pathways. And then I'll go into some specifics of how we do that in San Diego Unified and give you some examples of some of the things we have done and the other things that we're planning going forward into the next years. Starting on this slide here on the right, these are the state priorities. And this is very important for us to keep in mind and always think about as we're planning our goals, is that we're supporting the state priorities. And we know that our college and career technical education programs support those three big banners, the conditions of learning, student engagement, and student outcomes. So our programs are really key and essential to even supporting all of the state priorities. Just an overview around in San Diego Unified, our college and career pathways, we offer 12 of the 15 California state industry sectors. So we have those pathways within each of those industry sectors in our middle schools and high schools. We serve in our CTE programs about 20,000, it ranges 22,000 students. Roughly it's around, I always remember, maybe 16,000 high school students, 5,000 middle school students. So 21 to 22,000 students each year. Our college and career pathway programs also include our CTE transition, so our articulated courses that are part of our pathways, dual enrollment programs that we help oversee as well. And then I have these 4 key bullet points. So really thinking about when you're marketing your programs, keeping consistent with your messaging and what you're communicating about what the benefits of your CTE program. So those 4 key bullet points came from originally Link Learning is where I got them from, but I continue to use them because it really establishes what we are doing in CTE. We're integrating rigorous academics, we're providing high quality CTE sequences of courses, we're supporting work-based learning for our students, and then we're also looking at student supports. How do we close achievement gaps for students? The next slide kind of highlights that K-12 Strong Workforce program. So a lot of the work and the goals and that we're forming are supported through these programs. So the K-12 Strong Workforce program, you've heard many people mention it so far, but it really is designed to support our K-12 systems in creating, improving, and expanding our CTE courses, programs of study, and pathways. So this program has really been instrumental in really supporting the work that we want to do in expanding our pathways and really our marketing and outreach programs. The other key funding sources and key programs and key guiding principles that inform our work come from the CTE incentive grant and the strengthening the CTE for the 21st century, which is the Perkins 5. So the CTE incentive grant and the state has established these guiding policy principles to help inform our work in CTE. And those guiding principles are listed here: student-centered delivery of services. So as we design our programs, as we design our marketing, we really need to keep that in mind. This is a student-centered delivery of services where we really are understanding our students and aligning our programs. Promoting equity and access. You heard Al mention that in the welcome session. but really thinking about how are we ensuring that all students are able to realize their educational and career aspirations. And so as we're designing our marketing and outreach, really keeping that in mind is how are we reaching all students? Achieving system alignment, so that's that K through 14 system alignment, supporting continuous improvement and capacity building of everyone involved, from teachers, leaders, counselors, and really just continuing that improvement throughout. And then again, you see that bullet around ensuring that the state priorities are really leading the direction for our state planning, career technical education, and also our work in the local districts. The next slide gives further information about the 12 essential elements of high quality college and career pathways. And that is the idea of how we accomplish these guiding principles are through these 12 essential elements. So as we develop our work and our goals, we're always using these essential elements to guide that. We do a self-evaluation each year to think about each of these areas and what are some areas we may need to strengthen and what areas we want to expand. So you see the 12 listed here: student-centered delivery of services, student equity, access as its own element, developing leadership at all levels, high quality integrated curriculum and instruction, skilled instruction and educational leadership. So that's that professional learning and capacity building for our instructional program, career exploration and student supports using data, cross-system alignment, and then I want to highlight that intentional recruitment and marketing. So there's a lot of things we can do to market, but we want to be really intentional about understanding both student needs and our economic needs, our employer needs. And so we're guiding all of our programs to meet those needs. And then sustained investments and strong partnership with industry. So now I'm going to get into a little bit about how we approach our marketing and outreach programs in our district. And step 1 and 2 is of what we think about is really thinking about self-exploration for students and then career and college exploration for students. So really giving students opportunities to understand who they are, their interests, their skills, their values, and then also giving them opportunities to explore career in college. That image there is actually from the World of Work, but I really like that image too, because it really focuses on that self-awareness, allowing students to understand who they are, their own interests, and then thinking about their academic and career journey and allow develop their own about who they are, who they want to be. So in career and college exploration and how we've been able to do this, some examples. This last year, we implemented the Vita Navis Super Strong inventory, and we trained our teachers to be able to implement that in the classrooms so that students starting in middle school could actually do an interest survey, career assessment, and learn about themselves, their own skills, some careers that might match for them, and really just begin to explore some of those programs and the colleges that offer them. We are beginning to implement. So this year we are doing the planning stage to implement next year, a K-12 initiative focused on career and college exploration using the Zello.world platform. So this is something that we're working on now to build out the scope and sequence of what this will look like for all levels. So we really wanted a system that could be used at elementary, middle, and high school, and that would follow the students. So as they build their portfolio and their experiences in the platform, it will continue with them throughout. So we're excited to be using some of our funding and support to be able to implement this program. Another example of a program that allows students to discover themselves, more about themselves, is the Discover Your Purpose curriculum. This is free curriculum that is available to educators, and we did a training for our teachers to explore that curriculum and then think about how to bring it into the classroom. All right, another key point, key effort around career exploration and college exploration is along building the student engagement continuum. So we focused in middle school in taking students outside of the classroom. This wasn't this last year, obviously, but this is something that we had built into our program. And during the previous school year, we had students in middle school going on excursions. And you see some of the examples there to the Midway, SeaWorld Ocean Link Lab, Raytheon Innovation Lab. But we really feel that we need to get students just aware of and exposed to many different programs. We also held a a community college event with Mesa College. So it was on their campus. We took middle school students in the information communication technology sector to Mesa College so that they could experience workshops and have experience faculty were on campus leading the workshops. So they met them, but just being on that college campus. And that's one thing that we want to expand when we're able to come back and take students over to the colleges again. Our high school work-based learning is there. The other program that I want to highlight middle school tool reach our EE lab. So we have an education to employment lab on our whole campuses. We have one at Kearney High School now at the complex, and we expanded it to Morse High School. And the idea is that lab, my internet just popped up as unstable, that lab would support middle school exploration of the pathways that are at the high school. So offering workshops and offering a space so that middle school students could come onto the high school to learn again about themselves and also about the pathways that are offered at the high school. I'm going to keep going to the marketing and promotion materials. Okay, oh, not yet, sorry. So in our round 2 K-12 Strong Workforce application and program, we focused on 2 areas, curriculum instruction and college and career exploration. So I want to just highlight some of the key components of the college and career exploration. One of them is here with us today. That's Andriana Murphy, who is our K-12 Strong Workforce counselor. So we were able to bring a counselor into our department to really help support that student exploration of their interests, of implementation of the college and career exploration and interest surveys. So we have 2 counselors in our office now. They're really going to be guiding the scope and sequence and how to support counselors on campuses implementing these platforms, the college and career exploration platforms, and also supporting the development of student portfolios. We are focusing on continuing to build out high school, college, and career labs with that idea that when we have these labs built on campus, it becomes this hub, not only for the high school, but also for middle school or elementary students to be able to come through and experience what is on that campus. We're focusing on entrepreneurship labs, design thinking experiences, engineering, and then STEAM and biotech is a future idea, but we're focusing right now on the top 3. And then middle school and high school, so we want to expand into experiences for middle school with career days. We have focused on our marketing materials, and I'll share a few examples of those on the next slide. And then we have really focused, especially this year, on really building out our college and career website. So we know, especially when everyone has been online, we really wanted to make that be a central location for a lot of information. We have call information on there, that post-secondary, supporting post-secondary transitions. We have a job and internship board, student opportunities board, and then we will also be adding some financial information, financial aid information, things to support the students along the way, but really making that a hub, that central location for all of that information. All right, so this continues with some of those other pieces of marketing and outreach of what we've implemented. So the College and Career website I mentioned includes our programs of study. So similar to what Eileen shared, we have programs of study documents that we've developed for every school and every pathway that's offered so that students and families can explore, but also so that counselors can use in their planning with their students. So I'll show a preview of what that looks like. We've developed a newsletter that goes K-12 around what is being offered, our programs, and we have a blog and Facebook that actually hosts those articles on those platforms. We use Twitter, so our district uses the hashtag BetterSD as well as other hashtags. We use a San Diego Unified College and Career Technical Education hashtag. Ms. Murphy is actually kind of our champion in making
All right, well, hopefully we don't lose Sarah all the way. We'll give it just a second to see if she pops back on. I'm guessing, since I see other people moving, that it is, there she comes. Sarah, we're losing you a bit here.
Is it breaking up?
Oh, there you are, you're coming back.
Oh, okay. That time I didn't get a message that my internet was unstable. Every year we host the CTE Showcase, and that's at the end of the year where we highlight all different programs and projects. Our teachers go through a PBL Institute in the summer, and they plan the project for the upcoming year. It's an interdisciplinary project where they work together to develop, and then the showcase allows them students to present their work to a panel and share that with the rest of the community. All right, so I just wanted to, let me see if I can click this and if it'll take us over to the website real quick. So on the website, we have the college and career pathways. We also have information, again, you see those 4 key components for our program so that that message is consistent. We let students know that they can become pathway completers. And then the idea here is that they can actually search by their high school and see the programs that are offered at their high school. So Claremont High School offers these industry sectors. If somebody was interested in health, they could click here and see the program of study options for that pathway. In blue is the CTE courses, and then these are all kind of the core options that they could choose from. On the pathway and program of study, we also indicate begin to learn about that and how their students can earn college credit. The occupations, we also have our middle school programs of what the courses they can take at the middle school, and then going into post-secondary, what that would look like as well. I just want to highlight real quick one other piece that I mentioned, which is the student opportunities. So we are using an add-on in order to create a page full of student opportunities. So Ms. Murphy is also our lead on adding student opportunities to a spreadsheet, which then gets turned into a page like this, where students can actually click, get more information, and see all of the different opportunities. And we've done the same thing for our job and internship. Sorry, let me get back to that. Job and internship board as well. And so we post all of the different job and internship opportunities that are available in the community. They can search based on industry sector or different regions, locations, but we have that all on this website here. So it's really become a tool for us to communicate. If we're hosting a student opportunity or event, then we also put that onto our page. This was for our Women in Biotech, so that it becomes available for many people to be able to get the information. This is just a quick image for our newsletter and blog. And then I wanted to highlight, we have slicks, so print materials for our programs as well. And then I'm going to just play this in the bottom corner here. Oh, I forgot to do the sound. Can you hear it at all?
Just a little bit, almost like it's your background, but if you just push the share again and click the button, then it'll just give you a new share with the sound.
Stop share.
Or just share again, and then when you select this field, you just click that little
got it
in the corner.
It's a quick 40-second promo for, this is at a particular high school for their game design program. And we want to really expand and really have video promos, just because they do so much when you watch something and hear something. So that's something that we want to make sure that we create for all of our programs. It's kind of one of our ongoing goals. All right, so let me keep going. Oops, sorry. Now am I going to be able to get out of that? There we go. Okay. All right. So a couple quick things on student outreach that I wanted to mention. So 8th grade presentations happens to prepare to share with the 8th graders the courses that they'll be able to choose from in their high school. And I wanted to share a specific example that actually Rob worked on for us in supporting Lincoln's pathways, and I'll share that in the next slide. Our college application sessions, we offer that for our high school, but we have found from that we have parent engagement, student engagement, and coming to these sessions, and they're really looking for additional support. So just by hosting these sessions throughout this year, we have come up with many different ideas and ways that we can continue to outreach and connect with our families this way. So we plan to continue those types of sessions. And then we've hosted this year a series of online experiences, and I'm going to just give you a quick overview of those. And all right, I'm just checking time. So this comes from the slide deck. So Lincoln actually held these 8th grade career nights, and our office supported the pathway. So they're actually redesigning their pathway offerings, but Rob was able to put together in a really graphically pleasing platform or layout so that families could see all of the different pathway options, what the course choices would look like at each grade level. So this was really useful for our 8th grade families thinking about what they would be going into. All right, the online experiences. So I mentioned we started out in October with hosting Engineer Your Future. We wanted to share information about an internship opportunity, and we found that 173 students attended. So it was really well attended, and we continue to do this. We hosted a career panel series. This is all through Zoom. We held 5 different sessions, and across those 5 sessions, we had about 661 students attend those. We've just found that in all of these offers, we've been able to broaden our reach. We send invitations through School Messenger to students and parents, families, so that they're aware, and we're able to invite everyone throughout the district to be able to participate. We held a social entrepreneurship challenge in partnership with our partner Intuit. That was a design thinking with the sustainable development goals. We had over 735 students register and about 600 students participate. We did a career readiness conference, and then with junior achievement and ambassador program, over 10 sessions in the spring. And then a couple key other items that we've hosted, and you can kind of just see a variety of items. We held a job and internship information session, and we were surprised again. We didn't do a registration, and we had 400 students attend that. So we're planning to do more of those. So we have another one planned this Friday and another one next week so that they can begin to prepare for the summer. We're doing a session actually today is the 3rd day for our mobile app Changemakers. We had 259 students register, many middle school students as well. But all of these activities and events are just helping to really allow students to understand what's possible for them in industries, and then at the same time to also understand that they can pursue these while they're in middle school and high school. And last, I know I'm checking time here for you, Jewel. All right, so going into round 3 of our K-12 Strong Workforce, which was our 2021 application, I wanted to share a little bit about Design Your Future, because what we wrote was to really pull all of these things together for a student so that now they're designing their future and thinking about transition both from middle school to high school to post-secondary, that they're really developing a key all, reflections on these excursions they have. That's my internet. Design thinking summer programs, and that I actually want to share a little bit more on is this Summer Bridge program. So again, this is kind of just the part of the Design Your Future. The Summer Bridge program, especially for the 8th graders going into 9th grade, we are going to be piloting this summer with our campuses. And the purpose of this is, again, to just support the development implementation pathways at the schools and 8th graders. So they'll be introduced and they'll be getting to know students on the new campus to help increase their student engagement and success. The way that we laid out, right, teachers will go through a professional development first in July, and they'll experience design thinking, experience how to develop this Summer Bridge program for their students. What do they want their students to experience? And then in August, we would implement the Summer Bridge. The schools would implement the Summer Bridge program. We're supporting that with funding for the professional development, resources and materials so that teachers and a counselor participate. So I just kind of kept this quote here about creative, but really just the idea about being creative on all of your marketing and outreach in alignment with the principles and the goals that you have in your district programs. I social media, but really all of your marketing and outreach. But I wanted to just mention social media because Instagram is not a platform that we use right now, but from feedback from students. So we have a student equity group and they actually, were talking about how we can engage more around student resources. And one of the things that they shared was that Instagram platform. So know that that's that they are looking for. We want and add that. Another point around, being in touch with students and what it is that they need and looking for. Well, plan to expand kind of based on this work that we've been doing online in hosting by cluster. So in our district, cluster is the feeder schools from elementary, middle, and high. And we plan to host counselor cluster meetings. We've been going, now we've narrowed down counselor clusters deeper into the path. And same thing with parents and families. The other thing we want to expand, as I mentioned, is college, and they really want to start early as well, middle schools and even elementary schools. So we'll see how that does. So this is our team in college technical education, and you can, and then I have information. Also, we have a general TE and our website here as well. But I'll stop on the questions.
Sarah, do you mind mentioning kind of our email accident that turned out to be just amazing with the women in biotech email that went out to just a bigger population, and then maybe the results?
Yeah. So our Women in Biotech event, that's the one you kind of saw the quick preview. And we send out emails to, as I mentioned, through School Messenger. And we have Jeff Thomas in our office who handles that. So we'll send him the draft. Can you send this out to? And so for Women in Biotech, we said, send this out to 9th through 12th grade students. Well, it accidentally went out to everyone in the district. And so we got, first graders and fourth graders asking, can I attend this event? But hearing them and seeing them post that like on the registration form, we couldn't turn them away. So, one of them said that she, I think her comment said something like, I'm a princess, or I know I'm a princess, but I want to be a scientist or something. It was so cute. But the idea, yeah. And so we let our panelists know that there are going to be some younger people in the audience. And if they could maybe just, say a few words to them and welcome them and let them know that they were happy that they were there. So yes, it just expanded, our also in knowing that our younger students are also looking things like this, and they had parents receiving the email helping them with that, but getting them there early is just key. And so yeah, so thanks, Andriana, for mentioning that. But yes.
Thank you. And if there's any questions, we do have about 3 whole minutes before we need to let you all go. I'm going to go ahead. If this is the final session you'll attend today, please fill out our final survey. Let me drop that in the chat for you so that we can get that feedback. We all know how important data is in our education work. And so we definitely always want to have data on how this presentation, the opening session, and any other presentations that you'll attend today have helped you. And so, we're open for questions for a few minutes. But I do also want to thank Sarah and Eileen and their teams for putting together I sat here excited to hear, because I get to see little bits and pieces, but to hear the huge amount of work you're all doing in order to support our middle schoolers finding their way. We know that like when we've done empathy interviews with students, one of the things is that they don't know they're entering a pathway, and so they don't stick it out. And so as we're ensuring our students understand what is a pathway, what are my options, and we allow them to make informed decision-making, informed decisions about their future, that empowers them right there in 8th grade. And so that they understand that they have so many opportunities ahead. So I don't see any questions in the chat. Our next round of sessions starts at 3 o'clock today. So please take a look at your schedule and click into one of those in a few minutes. And we'll just stick around here. I know Eileen has something at 3, and so she'll probably hop off. And but thank you all for joining us. Again, we will be archiving everything, and everyone on the list will also get access to the videos at the end. Thank you.